Hey, what's going on everyone? This is iReviews back with another video, and today we're talking about iOS 26.1 Beta 1. This is the latest update from Apple when it comes to iOS 26, and of course it will be the first big update to iOS 26. So we have a lot more features to talk about and a lot of details regarding this update that actually make this a huge update and actually a very good one, and I will show you guys why in a few minutes here. But first of all, let's go ahead and talk about some more new features that we have been able to discover on the new iOS 26.1. Now before we get into all that, I just want to ask you guys for a really quick favor. Most of you guys that watch my videos are still not subscribed to the channel, so if you enjoy the videos and you want to see more of them, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. It really helps a lot. And let's get started with a few new features and changes that we have been able to discover on this update. And first of all, we're talking about the Photos app, and we're talking about the spatial scene feature, which you can use on your lock screen, but you will also be able to actually try it out on your photos within the Photos app. So whenever you open a photo on the Photos app and you tap the spatial scene button, right there it will go into the spatial scene mode where you can actually test your picture. Now previously you wouldn't have this button right here. You would just have the spatial scene button, which would allow you to actually enable or disable it from here. So there was no way to actually just leave it like this and get back. Now you will actually have this button that allows you to go back from here to your pictures. Another really nice change can be found on the Find My app. So when you go to Find My and you go to one of your devices, you will see the status of the device right here. You can see where it says now. It basically shows you the status of the device, the location, and basically how many minutes it has been detected on that location before. So right here you can see it's on green. So when the device is online, it shows you that on green. Otherwise it will show that on red. So now it has been updated again, just distinguishing both the states with different colors, red and green. Apple also has made another change on the control center. So this was actually before present on iOS 26 on the betas. I believe it was on beta 4. You can see these like minus buttons right there, which we use to remove any toggles. These used to be on the liquid glass. Now they're actually frosted, so they have removed the liquid glass effect from the buttons right here, which is really interesting. I don't know why Apple is going back and forth with that. It has happened before, and they did it again with iOS 26.1 beta 1. We also have another change on the calendar app. As you can see here, the events and everything that's on the calendar when you go to the date view are now colorized. Previously you would have just the names here and those little icons. Now they're actually colorized. As you can see right here, we have different colors, of course, based on different calendars that you have added to your calendar app. And the game mode also has changed here, so the pop-up that you get when you get into a game also has changed. So previously it would just show game mode on, and now it will show you more details. Of course it says game mode on, but you will also have other details that you could see right there. And there is also another change for the Mail app. Basically for Chinese and Vietnamese languages, now categories are supported within the new Mail app on iOS 26. So these are some of the new features and changes that we have been able to discover on the latest iOS 26 beta 1. And now let's talk about something really good, and that's the performance of the device on iOS 26 beta 1. Now just using it on daily basis when it comes to performance is actually great. It's very smooth, and I've seen a lot of reports, especially for people with newer devices. The iPhone 17 series updating to iOS 26.1 has actually made their experience better. Everyone says that it's better than iOS 26 on the daily use. But also the numbers show that it has actually improved a lot. So let's go ahead and get to the Geekbench score. So this right here is the Geekbench score for iOS 26.1 beta 1. This is the iPhone 15 Pro Max. This is the score that we got. The best score I've gotten on this device on any iOS version, even iOS 18.5. And we can compare it right here to iOS 26. So iOS 26, iOS 26.1. You can see we have an improvement right there on the single core score, 2,986 on 26.1, 2,972 on 26. And then you can see the huge improvement here on the multi-core score. So 7,709 on iOS 26.1, 7,618 on iOS 26. A huge improvement, and it's just beta 1. So this is very, very promising. Apple actually did it again. They're always improving the performance, and as far as I have been able to notice, iOS 26, since beta 1, with every beta, it has been improved on the Geekbench scores, so that's really amazing. Now, one sector where it hasn't improved is the battery life. The battery life is not good. So let's go to battery right here. Here we have the battery health of this device is at 89%. And then let's go here to the usage, and you can see a few days that I have been using this device with iOS 26.1 installed. We're actually not getting really good battery life. It's about the same as iOS 26, maybe like 4 to 5% worse than iOS 26. Of course, it's a beta 1 and we can expect improvements here, but I'm really not hoping for huge improvements even after this update is out to the public. So you can see right here we got 8 hours and 14 minutes with 146% battery usage. Right here you can see 126% battery usage, just 6.5 hours. It's actually not good at all. So you can see these usages and these times are actually not that great. Hopefully it will improve with the next betas, but I'm really not that optimistic that that will happen. So now this leads us to the next part. Should you update or not to the new iOS 26? Well, in my 26.1, in my opinion, you should not. If you're currently on iOS 26, don't update to this beta. At least wait for another beta to be released and see if battery life will actually improve. So again, it's basically the same as iOS 26, but in my experience on my device using it on daily basis, I'm getting a bit worse battery life. That's why I say just stay away from this update. Otherwise, just leaving aside the battery life, the update is great. The performance is amazing, even better than iOS 26. And of course, we have some new features and changes, but taking a look at this battery life, I wouldn't suggest anyone to actually install it on their daily device. So what happens next and when we will see the next beta? Well, taking a look at history and how Apple has actually released things, I believe Apple will actually move to a 2-week schedule for this beta for the first couple of betas. So from beta 1 to beta 2, we will most likely have to wait a couple of weeks. So this most likely won't get an update today, which is of course a Monday. Usually Apple releases these software updates on the Monday, so that most likely won't happen, but it will happen the next week, which actually will be October the 6th. That's the day when I would expect Apple to actually release the second beta of iOS 26.1. Moving on from there, most likely we will then see a new beta every week. Most likely we will go to 4, maybe even 5, but I believe there will be 4 betas and the RC before it gets released to the public, most likely somewhere here at the beginning of November. So that's basically it for this video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video and found it helpful. If you did, smash that like button and subscribe for more, and I'll see you on the next one.